Death Stranding, a game that's been in the media for years, a game that many people have questions about. Kojima's latest game was probably never going to live up to the hype that it built over the years, especially since Kojima has been someone that's transformed all of gaming over many years. And with Death Stranding, he's at it again, but maybe not in the best of ways. Instead, he's created a very divisive game that everyone I know has something different to say about it. We've seen multiple arguments coming from multiple people yelling the game isn't fun, the game is too slow, the game's a masterpiece, or that you don't have to have fun in a game to enjoy it. And I'm going to ignore all of that and give you my impressions of the game, and this is coming from someone that considers themselves an Xbox fan. Not to mention I'm a person that wasn't looking forward to this game one bit, but I decided to play it and judge it for myself. Now, full disclosure, I didn't get a review copy of this game, so I didn't have several weeks with the game, and in turn, I haven't beaten the game, but I have put several hours into it, and I feel I'm able to judge the game from a place of experience. And again, I'm going to try and not give spoilers or anything like that because I know a lot of people are playing the game, and I don't want to ruin their experience. But let's get into this and talk about what might be the weirdest game I've played in a little while. But before we do that, if you like the content, hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support is greatly appreciated. Alright, first off, I want to talk about Kojima's comments saying this game doesn't fit what Americans like. To not mix up anything, here's what he said. Death Stranding creator Hideo Kojima reportedly said that the game wasn't received as well in the US because it flies higher than the first-person shooters Americans are great fans of. Death Stranding received mixed reviews before its release last week, receiving perfect scores from some critics and scores in the 60s and 70s from others. I have to say, this quote isn't that shocking to hear from someone that's brought out multiple games that have been highly rated. When that happens, no matter who you are, an ego starts to form, and for Kojima, I would say his ego got the best of him right here. For him to express that Americans can't fathom what he's working on is just plain ignorant. I understand the high-level storytelling that's going on with Death Stranding, and as a matter of fact, it's a huge reason why I've enjoyed the game in a certain capacity. But what I like and what Kojima likes might not resonate with a lot of highly intelligent gamers. That doesn't mean they're dumb or wouldn't understand it because they like other games. Instead, they're being individuals and thinking on their own. Maybe, just maybe, Kojima should do the same and worry about what he can make better instead of making excuses. And that's where I move to the game and what I think about it so far. Now remember, I haven't beaten the game and I'm not going to show any type of spoilers, but I just had to make this video because I find the game very different and I just had to talk about it. The first thing I have to talk about is the graphics of this game. All I can say is, wow, this game is extremely well designed graphically. It's one of the best looking games I've ever seen on the PS4 Pro, and it stands up to pretty much any game on the market. The environments are amazing looking, the HDR is top notch, and the cutscenes really do feel like a high quality cinematic. It all comes together when you're fighting off BTs and trying to get to your next destination. All the while, you still want to see all the good looking terrain and the lighting attached to it. The rain cycles are mesmerizing, especially when you just left a bright, well-lit place. The environments in this game truly are telling their own story and have impact on what you're about to do. If it rains and it's windy, get ready to sneak around with some very intense moments in the game. These moments are what makes delivering simple packages that much more intense. And instead of just walking somewhere, you actually have to use strategy to get to where you want to go. And because of the strategy, that's where the gameplay comes into place. And I have to say, the walking and the balancing of packages is actually not the biggest problem in the game. Instead, the biggest problem is the fighting and the awkward movements. The game is right on the cusp of being a pretty decent game control-wise, but then it teeters off and becomes an awkward game that's extremely hard to control for some weird reason. But I do have to say, using ladders and ropes to go up and down cliffs is a pretty cool mechanic that works extremely well. The only problem so far is that I haven't used them that much, and I usually end up finding a different route that makes the trips that much easier. Now, of course, sometimes these new routes has BTs and enemies come after me, which, if I'm being honest, I enjoy because it breaks up the boring gameplay of walking around. And delivering packages and connecting the world together isn't the most intelligent game I've played, and it isn't the most original thought process. Instead, it's a third-person game that requires you to understand how to navigate through a map of terrain. Not the most compelling of games, but it gets the job done well enough where you continue to trudge through the game slowly. And that's where the sound in the game comes into play. When you're walking around the world trying to complete a delivery, the sound of the game is awesome. The footsteps, the intense moments, the music, everything about it is just amazing. It really brings the game together and you honestly feel extremely immersed in the world that Kojima built. The problem is when you get to bases and you have to sit through so many cutscenes and random tutorial-like sequences. That's where the sound in the game gets extremely old because they try to tie in tutorials for things around the world into the story. And most of the time it's extremely cringy to me and I tend to tune certain aspects out. But once you get into the cutscenes that center around the story, the writing in the overall game gets a whole lot better. But again, you have to get through so many unnecessary cutscenes to get to those moments and it starts to bog the game down considerably. And that's when the multiplayer aspect of the game comes into play. Now, of course, you can't squad up with your buddy and see who can Jenga the best. Instead, this game revolves around bringing the world together and reconnecting everyone. And the way this game handles that is that you can use other people's ladders, ropes, roads, and of course, bridges around the world. Once you unlock a base and bring it back online, so to speak, everything in that area will unlock and you'll be able to see everyone else's hard work actually help you out. And because of this, you're more willing to help others build a road by providing materials like metal and so forth. Because at the end of the day in this game, we're all in this together and we're all trying to connect the world to make it a better place for everyone coming before and after us. It's an awesome concept and something I haven't really experienced in a game before. So I have to give props to Kojima for doing this, but again, it's something you don't really see or experience until a couple of hours into the game, or should I say a couple of hours into the cutscenes of the game. Now comes my final thing I want to talk about, and that's the fun factor of this game. We've all seen people say that the game isn't fun, and that's okay because not every single game needs to be fun in order to get enjoyment out of it. To me, that's super weird because I always play games because I enjoy them, and I find them to be the best hobby in the world. I find more fun in gaming than most other activities, and if a game doesn't provide fun for me, I tend to move on from it because it's not worth my time to do something I don't enjoy. With that being said, I have to say this game is extremely frustrating to talk about in the fun factor, because there are times I truly enjoy the game a lot and I find myself super engaged with it. Then there's times I just want the cutscenes to end and the boring walking to end, or I just don't want to deal with the BTs because I just want to get to my destination and the BTs just slow that process down considerably. An example of this is one night I wanted to finish one more mission and then go to sleep. Well, the mission took me about 15 minutes to finish and I enjoyed that process, but then I had to sit there and watch over 40 minutes of tutorial-like cutscenes. It didn't progress the story that much. Instead, it was telling me all about the tools I have and all the stuff I should do when I'm out in the open world. It was the worst part of the game for me and I was extremely frustrated. That's where the fun factor of the game takes a huge hit. So while the game is fun in a lot of areas, there's so many other areas that just aren't fun. And to me, that's a problem in vision and pacing, something that Kojima could learn a little bit about. Now that's everything I wanted to talk about in the game, and I hope I painted a better picture of the game for people that were on the fence about it. Because there's so much mystery surrounding this game, especially before all the reviews came out and the story spoilers, that many people were thinking about skipping on the game, while others couldn't wait to dive in and figure out the crazy story attached to it. For me personally, I'm happy I gave the game a shot, but it's not going to be a game I play over other games like Star Wars Fallen Order. It's not even a game I'll choose to play over a multiplayer session of Apex or Ghost Recon with my friends. It's a game I'll play when I'm chilling and there's no one else on to play any games with. Which is fitting because after playing the game for an hour or two, I do want to reconnect with other gamers outside of the game. So at the end of the day, did Kojima get his ultimate message across? For me, he has. But enough about what I think. Tell me what you think about this game. Is this something you'll be buying soon? Have you played the game yet? Are you waiting for a sale? Did the story intrigue you enough to keep playing? Is this game really too smart for everyone? Do you think Kojima can learn something from his own creation? Go down below and let me know. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and the like button. The support helps out more than you know. And give me a follow on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my latest videos. And also follow me on Mixer. I recently started streaming on Mixer because I find the community much more engaging and fun. So if you want to hang out and chat with me, I'm very active with my chat and always playing games. The links will be in the description. I hope to see you guys there. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.